workflow editor from the application navigator. So workflow editor. Under workflow, you will go to the workflow editor here. So once you go to the workflow here, right? Once you go to the workflow here, so you can see there are a lot of workflows which are already created. So these are the workflows that are actually already created. So to get started with workflows, you need to click on new workflow. Okay. So you'll just click on workflow here. So it will navigate you to new workflow, and here you are supposed to provide workflow name. Okay. So here I am actually providing access automation. So remember one point, guys. Always remember when you are actually creating workflows for the catalog items, you need to write workflow on request item table. While you are creating workflows for catalog items, you need to always write this workflow on request item table. So here you are supposed to write request item table here. So requested item here. Okay. So what exactly is requested item? Whenever you submit the catalog form, it will actually create a request. Under the request item will get created. On that requested item, we are writing this workflow here. So while you are actually creating workflow for catalog item, you need to create that workflow on requested item table. Okay, this is actually the common thing that you guys have to remember. So I have just filled in. You don't have to do anything with stages here. We'll just click on submit here. Once it is submitted, right? So this is actually called canvas. Okay. So you have actually begin. We have actually an end. So you can actually drag it here. Even more as well. So now, right, I am just clicking on this line. I'm clicking on backspace here in the laptop. Now the line is removed. Okay. So now, whenever you submit the catalog item, it will actually create a request. Under the request, RITM will get created. Once the RITM is created, this workflow will be run. Understand the flow? You guys are clear with the flow, right? So in our previous sessions, we understand how to design the catalog form. So we understand how to create variable. We understand how to create variable set. What is catalog UI policy? What is catalog client scripts? What is catalog UI policy at variable set level? What is catalog client scripts at variable set level? What is available for? What is not available for? Okay. So what is catalog data lookup definition? What is related articles, related catalog items? So how to hide only one variable to respective users? We understand all these things. We understand how to make field, how to make attachment mandatory. We understand all these things while we are actually discussing the catalog form. We are done with the catalog form. Now we are actually on workflow concept. In the workflow concept, we got started. So we have to navigate to workflow editor in the application navigator. So you have to create a new workflow. While creating the workflow, as this workflow is being created for catalog item, you have to create this workflow on request item level. Okay. So now here, right, first and foremost thing that I have to do is I have to check whether the requested for has manager or not. So let me just navigate to catalog item. To navigate to the catalog items, where do we have to go? Maintain items. So you need to navigate to maintain items here. So I am actually on this catalog item.
Sir, in the catalog item, what is cascade variable?
Cascade variable will actually come in the order guides, not catalog items.
Okay, understood.
That will actually come as part of order guides, not at catalog items.
Okay.
So we
No,
will
I
be
have been
discussing that part when we discuss order guides. Okay.
okay. No, I have been asked in one of the interview. I was not able to answer, so I
Yeah.
thought
So that is actually
it.
one of the common questions during the interviews. So that is one of the common questions.
Okay, understood.
Yeah. So here, right, we have actually requested for here. We have requested for here. So I want to check whether this requested for has manager or not first. So I want to check whether this requested for has manager or not. So where is manager field? Yeah, he has manager. Requested for has manager. So in the workflow, what I want to do is I want to check whether this requested for has manager or not. So for that, I am actually taking if activity, condition activity. See, I'm actually checking whether he has manager or not. That is actually condition, right? So I am actually taking if activity. So in the if activity, you will check manager or not. Manager is there or not. So how do you check whether he has manager or not? Using this condition field, you cannot actually check that. Using scripting only, you can actually check that. So you will have to just click on advanced checkbox here. If you scroll little down here, you will actually uncomment the script. You will uncomment the script here. After uncommenting the script, right, here in the function, you will actually keep the condition. Here you will actually keep the condition. So remember one thing, guys. Here, if you want to access this variable values in the workflow, if you want to access this variable values in the workflow, you will have to use current dot variables dot variable name. Current dot variables dot variable name. If you want to access catalog item variable values in the workflow, right? If you want to access catalog item variable values in the workflow, you will have to use line of scripting called current dot variables dot variable name. So current dot variables dot. So this requested for field name is actually you requested for. So requested for field name is actually requested underscore for. Requested underscore for. So requested for field is actually a reference field. Have you guys heard something like dot walking concept? So we can always dot walk reference fields. We can always dot walk reference fields. So here, right, I am actually dot walking this one. On this requested for field, we have actually manager here. Okay, manager field name is actually manager. So here I am actually dot walking dot manager. Not equal to empty. That means if the requested for has manager, it will return yes, or else it will return no. Okay, yes or no. If requested for has manager, it will return yes, if or else it will return no. Okay, till here you guys are good, right? I'm actually checking whether the requested for has manager or not. Now, right, if it returns yes, If it returns yes, this condition will be satisfied. If it returns no, this condition will be satisfied. So how exactly these conditions will work, I will actually show you. I'm just clicking on this yes here. Condition properties. Okay. Activity dot result is equal to yes. That means in the advanced condition, if it returns yes, activity dot result is equal to yes. Okay. So that is actually yes. I'm just clicking on no. I'm just clicking on no here. So if activity dot result is equal to no. So what exactly it means is that in the script, right? In the script that you have written, if this activity returns no, this whole activity returns no, so this will be executed. If whole activity returns yes, this will be executed. How exactly these conditions are working, do you guys understand or not? Suppose if you have to create a new condition, you can right click on this one. You can right click on this activity. You can actually create a new condition as well. See, add condition. You can create a new condition as well here. So that is actually test condition. Okay. So here you will actually specify activity dot result equal to test. Now I have actually created another condition called test. So in the scripting, if you have specified something like return test, okay. Okay, then that condition will be executed. So hope you guys are able to understand how to create a new condition. Do you guys understand or not? So now I am actually removing this condition. So I am actually dragging this one. So if manager is there, so I want to send an approval to the manager. So if you want to send an approval to the manager, you will actually take approval user activity. Okay. So here you will actually specify manager approval. So here you cannot actually use this condition here. So what am I going to do is I am going to use advanced stuff. Okay. So I want to send an approval to the manager. So here you will actually uncomment this code. So I'm actually uncommenting this line of scripting. So here in place of ID, right, what exactly you will do is you will actually pass the manager SysID. So how do you pass the manager SysID? Using current dot variables dot requested for dot. So it will actually send an approval to the manager. Okay. So which is fine. I want to send an approval to, along with the manager, I want to send an approval to the any static user. Any static user in the sense able tutor. So able tutor is actually the access related head. Access related head. So that is why every time when you are actually automating the access, this requested for manager and this able tutor should get an approval. So remember one thing, guys. If these two persons approved, only then it should consider as approved. If one person approved, then that is not actually approval. If two persons approved, only then it is considered as approval. If you scroll little down here wait for. Okay, here in the wait for, here you by default it is actually anyone to approve. So among the two members, if any one person approved, this is considered as approved by default. Among the two members, if any person approved, that is considered as approved. Okay. Among the two members, if any person approved, it is considered as approved. But in my case, if two members approved, only then it is considered as approved. Now, right, I am actually selecting. So there are actually two members, right? Everyone to approve. Okay, that is fine. So here, right, first response from anyone. So among the two members, anyone approved first, it is considered as approved. We have actually condition based on script, which is actually more powerful. So let us say here you are actually sending 2 approvals. You are actually suppose sending 10 approvals. You are sending 10 approvals. Among the 10 approvals, if 5 approvals are approved, only then it is considered as approved. Among the 10 members, if 5 members approved, only then it is considered approved. Suppose if it has sent 16 members, 8 members approved, only then it is considered as approved. If half of the members approved, only then it is considered as approval. In that case, we will have to go to the condition based on scripting. Okay, so here, right, we will actually use condition based on script. Here, you will actually understand how many people are approved using counts.approved. You will understand how many people rejected using counts.rejected. You will understand how many records are there in requested state, counts.requested. So counts.total, how many approvals are there total? Okay. So here, right, if half of the members approved, if counts.total percentile 2 equal to 0, that means half of the members approved. Percentile 2 will actually give you the half of the members. Okay, so here you will actually mention so counts.total percentile 2 means half of the members. If half of the members approved, then we need to consider it as approved. So what you will do is answer is equal to, so you will actually keep answer is equal to approved. So consider if approved equal to 2. If 2 members approved, only then it is considered as approval. Okay. So likewise, guys, you can actually keep the condition based on the scripting. So you can actually make the workflow waiting till you get the approvals from the users. Okay. So do you guys understand what is condition based on scripting? So I'm not going to use this one. I'm just explaining to make you guys understand purpose. So I'm just submitting this one. So now it is actually sending an approval to the able tutor and the manager, requester for manager. So once these two approvals are provided, I want to send an approval to the group member. So I want to send a group approval. See, the same way, like we have sent an approval to the manager, right? We have sent an approval to the manager, right? You guys remember current dot variables dot variable name dot manager. The same way, you can actually pass the CCD of the group over here. So which group you want to send an approval? That particular group CCD will actually pass here. So I am actually opening the groups here. I have copied that CCD. Okay. So it will actually send an approval to that particular group. So or else you can directly select a group here. Okay. So here also you have wait for an approval from each group. One approval from each group. We are sending approval to two groups, right? So it will actually send an approval to the group members. So among the group members, if one group member approved, that is considered as approved. So an approval from any group. So we have actually two groups, right? So among the two groups, if one group member approved, that is considered as approved. So approval from everyone in all groups. That means one group there are actually 10 members, in another group there are 15 members. Total 25 members have to approve. Yeah. First response from each group. So if first person rejected the approval, then that is considered as rejection. So whoever is responding first, if that person rejected, that is considered as rejected. First response from any group. So any group is different, each group is different. We have condition based on scripting here. The same way we have actually counts dot approved, counts dot rejected, counts dot. So here it is little more advanced. Here it is little more advanced. So each group, how many approvals are needed? So let us say in the application development group, there are actually 6 members. So from that group, you need 3 approvals. From that group, you need 3 approvals. There is application development group. There is ServiceNow developers group. From the developer group, you need 2 approvals. So total 5 approvals. Only then it is considered as approval. So those things you can actually do it using condition based on scripting. So here total number of users that part of groups approval. So in application development group, you want to check how many approvals are there. So total approvals. So in application development group, how many are approved? If you want to get the count. Individual group count. So those things you can actually do it using condition based on scripting. Okay.
Sir, we will get this auto comments whenever we open the workflow or no?
So here, right, this is actually for understanding purpose they have given us. Okay. So they have actually given us for understanding purpose. So you can actually copy paste these things. You can make use of those things here. So you can remove those comments as well. No worries. They have given us for understanding purpose. See, if it is there, right, you will be able to easily understand. See, in the beginning, nobody knows, right? To get used to that, you must use these lines of scripting so that you can actually it will make your life easy.
Sir.
Okay. So now, right, I'm actually moving back again here. I am submitting this one here. Okay, if it is approved, then it is actually sending group approval. What if it is rejected? So what my customer requirement is, if it is rejected 3 times, only then it is considered as rejection. If it is rejected only 1 time, that is not actually a rejection. If it is rejected 3 times, only then this is considered as rejection. So now, right, I am actually using a rollback activity. Rollback to activity will move the workflow towards backward direction. Okay. See here, rollback to will actually move the workflow towards backward direction. So why am I using this rollback? If it is rejected, again I am moving back to this approval again. What is my requirement here? If it is rejected only 3 times, only then it is considered as rejection. So if he will be rejecting, it is keep on going to the approval again. Likewise, it will go to infinite loop. He rejects it, it will go to the rollback to, again it will go back to approval user. He will reject it, again it will go back here. Likewise, if you keep on rejecting, it will be keep on creating the approvals. Okay, so you need to limit it to 3 times. How can you limit? So you can actually limit using turnstile activity. Turnstile activity will actually limit how many times a workflow can pass through the same activity. How many times a workflow can pass through the same activity, you can actually limit using turnstile activity. So here, right? So I'm actually limiting it to 3 here. Okay. So I have actually created a turnstile activity. I am actually moving here. So continue here. Okay. So if it is rejected 3 times, only then it is considered as rejection. Okay. Or it is not actually a rejection. This is clear, right? Till here you guys are good, right? Now, once it is group approvals are done, I have to create catalog tasks. One catalog task. So that catalog task you can actually get it here. Task 1. So on the catalog task, if you want to add variables on the catalog task, so by default variables will not be shown on the catalog task. You can actually add variables on catalog task from this workflow activity. Short description I'm actually giving as task 1. Okay. So here in the catalog task, right? Here in the catalog task, we have actually wait for completion field. So what exactly it does? It will actually wait till the task closure. It will actually wait till the task closure. So that is why we have actually selected wait for completion. So once this task is closed, I want to send a notification. I want to send a notification. So the other day, if you remember, while we are discussing notifications, we can send a notification from the workflow as well. Request closed. So here, right, you can directly select the users. You can actually keep the users dynamic here. So how do you keep the users dynamic here? So you will actually keep answer is equal to current dot variables dot. So I'm actually sending an email to requested for. So here answer is equal to, you are actually keeping comma separated sysids. Okay. Or else you can statically select the users as well. I am not keeping anything much in the notification. So likewise, you can actually send a notification as well. So once this notification is sent, I want to close the RITM. So how can I set the values of RITM? Requested item is the how can I set the request item values is the state as closed complete. So I'm actually completing the RITM. So here using set values, you can actually set the requested item values. Okay. So I am actually copying this activity. Copy activity. Closed incomplete. Okay. So when it is rejected, I am actually closed incomplete. I'm actually keeping closed incomplete. So here also, if you want to send a notification, so I can actually copy this activity. Okay. So now I will actually explain one more thing, one more time. So first I'm actually checking whether the requested for has manager or not. If he has manager, we are actually sending an approval to the manager along with able to talk. So if approval is successful, then it will go to approval group. So once it is approved, it will actually create catalog task. Once this task is closed, it will actually send a notification. It will actually close the RITM. It will actually end the work. If it is rejected, it will actually wait for 3 times rejection. So once this 3 times rejected, it will actually go to this the RITM state will be set as closed incomplete. So if it is rejected at group level, then also it will be set as closed incomplete. After that, it will send a notification. and it will actually end the workflow. So remember one thing, guys, after designing the workflow, right, you must remember you will have to publish it. You will have to publish it. So when it is in published state, you cannot actually modify that workflow. So to modify the workflow, you must check out. Yeah. So you must check out when you want to modify the workflow. So now it is actually in published state. In the published state, if you want to modify, you cannot actually modify that. Okay. Remember one thing, guys. This workflows will be captured in the update sets only when it is published. So by default, when you are actually creating workflow, right? So if you are not publishing that, that will not capture in update set. This point you guys have to remember. Okay. Now, right, I am going to add this catalog item to now I am going to add this workflow to the catalog item. Okay, I have actually added catalog item workflow to the catalog item. I am going to submit this one now. ITIL. Once it is submitted, it will actually create a request first. Under the request, RITM will get created. This is the RITM. So on this RITM, we have actually created the workflow. So I have opened this requested item here. So on this requested item, we have actually show workflow. So we can understand where exactly are we now. So first it has checked whether requested for has manager or not. It has returned true. That is why it has sent 2 approvals. You are able to see 2 approvals here. Able Tutor and Adila. Adila is actually the manager of system administration. So I am actually approving both of these things. Once these 2 are approved, so if I refresh this one, it will actually go to group approval. If group approvals are provided, see group approvals are sent. So I am actually approving randomly some users so that okay. So once group approvals are done, it has actually created a catalog task here. So now you guys can see, a task would have created here. See, a task is created here. So it will actually wait for this task closure. So once I close this task, right? Once I close this task, so it will actually immediately send a notification. It will immediately send a notification. It will keep the RITM as closed complete and it has actually ended the workflow. So the direction we have actually moved is towards this one. Now we will actually give a try this way. So now you guys can see now the request item is actually closed complete automatically. Okay. So now we will actually try another way. I am going to create another catalog item. So I am going to order it now. So first it will check for the manager, and if it has actually, if it is manager is there, it will actually send an approval. So if you guys have seen one thing here, in the workflow level, we have left it blank. No, there is no manager. What we should do? So it is not best practice to leave something like this one. The workflows will be struck. Understand, right? If manager is not there, workflow will be stuck here. So we should not leave something like that. So it would have sent an approval to the, so here, right, I'm actually rejecting this approval. If it is rejected, do you guys think it will reject? No, it will not actually reject till three times. It is still in request list. Second time I'm actually rejecting. Still in request list. Third time I'm actually rejecting. So now fourth time I'm actually rejecting this one. Now it will be considered as rejection. See, the workflow for RITM has been cancelled. Rejected approval for requested item. So 3 times rejected, then it is considered as rejected, no longer rejected. Okay. So now if you take a look at the workflow context, how exactly our workflow moved towards? See, our workflow has moved towards something like this. Okay, till here you guys are good, right? So now we will actually discuss even more things. So here in the workflow, right, you are actually creating one task. Suppose if you want to create 5 tasks at a time. If you want to create 5 tasks at a time. So if you want to create 5 tasks at a time, you want to wait for the 5 tasks to be closed. Once 5 tasks are closed, only then you want to move ahead. Okay. So understand my requirement clearly here. So here you have actually created one task, and once the task is closed, you are actually moving ahead. But in my case is that if you are supposed to create 5 tasks, once group approval is done, if you are supposed to create 5 tasks at a time, and then you want to wait for the 5 tasks to be closed, then what you will do is, let me just check it out. So I am going, there is already one task. So I am going to copying this one. Okay, you have actually created 5 tasks. Let me just rename it. See, in the interviews, you can use the same use case to explain the complex workflow that you have actually designed. See, this seems meaningful, right? This looks meaningful, right? You can actually explain the same thing during the interviews. So remember one thing, guys. If you directly drag it right, if you directly drag it right, so even though you have actually checked wait for completion in the catalog task, even though you have checked wait for completion in the catalog task, so it will not actually wait. So here we have to use branch and join activities. Here we are supposed to use branch and join activities. So this join activity will actually wait till all these 5 tasks get closed. If you don't use this join activity, right, it will not actually wait for the 5 tasks get closed. You must use join activity to wait these 5 tasks get closed. So now, right, I am actually getting a join activity here. Now you will actually pull all these join here, all these tasks here, so that so it will actually join activity will wait all these tasks get closed. So once it is complete, it will actually wait for send this notification. So here before, right, you will have to use branch activity. So directly creating catalog tasks doesn't make sense. So it will actually branch where task what is this? Okay. So it is actually creating 5 catalog tasks. Once group approval is done, it is actually creating 5 catalog tasks. It is waiting for the five catalog tasks. Once these 5 catalog tasks are closed, it is actually closing the requested item. So remember, this join activity will actually wait till all the tasks get closed. Okay. So now, right, so I am actually going to create one. So I am going to publish this one. I am going to order it now on the requested item level. Approved. See, 5 tasks are created. So I'm actually closing 4 tasks. So now I'm actually taking a look at the workflow. So it is still waiting at join activity till it is actually waiting for 5th task get closed. So now I'm actually closing this task as well. So once this task is closed, it will automatically close the RITM. Okay. Suppose you have actually created a manual task here. You have created a manual task here. So that is not action not authorized because you have actually completed this one, right? So you are making it in progress. So now you are actually creating one more. Okay. So RITM is actually closed. So you can create a manual task as well here. This workflow will not wait for the manual task. It will only wait for the workflow created tasks. What if you want to wait for both manual tasks and catalog workflow tasks? So then during that time, join activity will not work. During that time, join activity will not work. So here in that case, right, you are supposed to write here in this case, you are supposed to use wait for condition activity. So here we are supposed to use wait for condition activity. So what exactly this wait for condition activity does is that, so here it will actually wait for certain condition. So here I'm actually keeping the condition that where manual tasks, workflow tasks, both should get completed. Only then if you want to, only then you can move ahead. So here, right? So where GR is equal to new glide record so table name is actually SC underscore task. So GR dot add active query GR dot query. So here, right, we have to query only the catalog tasks which are related to the respective catalog item. So GR dot add query. Okay. So I'm actually querying the requested item. Requested. Correct. Answer false. Else answer is equal to so what exactly the script does is that if there is any active catalog task found on that particular RITM, so wait for that condition. So wait for all the tasks get closed. So I'm actually submitting this one. Publishing this. So now, right, I am going to submit another catalog item. It has created 5 tasks. I am going to create a 6th task, manual task. Okay. So the workflow should wait for all the 6 tasks get closed. So here I am actually closing 5 tasks. So I'm actually closing 5 tasks. So still whether the workflow is actually waiting or not, we'll have to check. Still the workflow is actually waiting. At wait for condition, it is actually waiting. So why is it waiting? So 6th task get closed, right? So if you close this task, so now the RITM get closed automatically. So likewise, guys, you will be designing the workflow. There are few activities which we have to cover it. So those activities we will be covering in tomorrow session. So once we are done with workflow, right, we will be covering flow designer. Okay. Okay, guys, I am actually winding up the session for today. We'll be connecting tomorrow.